was your last sale? My last sale was only $270. Does that mean I'm worth $270? No. So the longest time that thought was just running through my head. And so I talked to my boss, and her name is Brenda Begley. At the time, it was Brenda Begley. She's a retail sales manager at the newspaper. Love her to death. Greatest mentor. She's been with the company for close to 22 years, the Albuquerque Publishing Company. Went in there. I was like about to go into tears. I was so frustrated. I was just not making sales anymore. I was just not doing as much as my potential. I could be bringing in like 35, 40,000 in my territory, and then now I was down to 270 a month. I was like, Brenda, I can't do this anymore. What is it? And I tried. First off, I wasn't excessively using Twitter because the company told me not to. It was just fine. But I said, Brenda, look, someone told me you're only good as your last sale. She goes, no, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I was like, why is that? She goes, you're only as good as the last relationship that you built. Because that relationship, when the time comes and the economic climate is right, that relationship's going to bring you that next sale. So in conclusion, I always recommend to salespeople, build that relationship as much as you can in the easiest ways and the most time-efficient ways as possible. And make sure that you can, take as much advice as you can from this presentation. Just make sure that you can close the sale so you can be successful as a sales professional. So, in closing, please feel free to take any one of these packets here, which is the Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce. It's actually a mini packet, more novelty than anything. My business card is in there. I didn't physically bring business cards because I usually forget them, which is bad. Anybody can find me on the internet. And but most importantly, I did have one thing too. I don't like this to be my last closing words. But if you're a business owner, the chamber's actually looking for signatures right now. If you don't feel like you should have your taxes raised, please sign this petition. It's an online petition. It'd be great if you can sign it. Other than that, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoy
Any
the food.
particular taxes or just across the
You'll kind of
board?
get that information here. I'm not the best representative for the chamber right now, A, because I had just started, but B, I'm a member-to-member salesperson, so that's what I primarily focus on. So,
Okay, and that's specific to Albuquerque, right?
yes, correct. So let me know if you need anything else. Yes.
Can we ask questions now?
Yes. Okay. Questions. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay.
As long as people want to stay.
I would appreciate if you try to put in context. I kind of lost how you're actually using Twitter in the context of finding new customers, following through with people, and so forth. And get, one way I've seen people use Twitter, and this is where they're building up, thousands of people following them and so forth, to try to get people to go to, if they're in a particular niche, they're trying to get people to go to their website and so forth. But you seem to be talking about one-on-one kinds of things. And I'd like for you, I'm not quite sure how you maneuver all of this.
Well, yeah, and
How exactly are you using Twitter in this conversation one-on-one when they're...
how about this? Let me ask you this. What field are you in?
In the software development and also in putting up some internet business sites.
Okay. What type of? Because you're developing internet websites,
Yes.
you're using social media to do what?
Well, I've been learning how to use social media, Twitter and Facebook, to try to figure out how to drive traffic to
Your website.
the website.
Okay, remember how we had this conversation about sometimes there's certain things or certain products that just don't work out for people? Like pens obviously doesn't work for men.
Right.
Right. Social media.
That might disagree.
Yeah. Social media works for certain people. And to answer your question, I'd be happy to go into depth. But with your type of sales, which I used to actually sell websites myself and software development. Software development is good for those that are, if it's a specific software for what exactly?
Well, I think we probably need to go offline on this.
Okay, then that's okay. Websites. I'll take websites for example. Selling through social media for websites is going to be very difficult, and here's why. Folks that don't have a website probably don't know what social media is. So because they don't know what social media is, your audience is probably not going to be there. So we'll take a hip hop station or a rock station, for example. if you're trying to advertise a Leonard Skinner concert on a hip hop station, that audience is not gonna listen to Leonard Skinner. So, and that's what I'm trying to get at is with website development, that's the basis and that's the beginning roots of actually grasping the essence of internet marketing and how to be in tune with stuff. And so those businesses that don't have websites probably don't have Twitter or Facebook.
Well, what I appreciate you answer is,
Okay.
how do you use Twitter to either find customers
Oh, okay.
or once you actually found somebody,
Okay.
prospects, and once you found them,
What do I
how
do
do you
next?
decide that you're gonna interact with them on Twitter as opposed to
Okay.
call him up on the phone or email or whatever?
Well, what I do is, we'll use Jennifer for example. Jennifer and I had actually met. She's my blatantly simple, I hope you join the chamber. I really do. And she's my prospective client, and the way that I interacted with her was that I noticed that her business, or her Twitter handle was support my office, correct? So support my office. Well, I'd love to support an office, well, what kind of office is it? So I looked into her profile on TweetDeck, and she said, you know, she does virtual assistants for businesses. Huh. And so I looked at her website, which she had on there, on her Twitter profile, and I looked, it's a business in Albuquerque. So then I went back to my database and I said, oh, they're not members. Okay, so I started talking to her. I said, hey, what do you do?
Talking on Twitter?
On Twitter.
Okay.
I talked to her on
Your
Twitter. I said-
DM and things like that?
And it was, what do you do? So what do you guys do? So she goes, oh, this is what we do. It was good for her because she got to broadcast her business on Twitter. She's like, oh, this is what I do. And everybody loves talking about their business. I love talking about what I do, so she was able to talk to it. She was plugging herself. Oh, okay. And we couldn't, something was wrong where I didn't direct message her. I didn't know what happened. So we were actually, this was all public. And I said, okay, well, help me out here. What are some of the questions I was asking you? Like, what type of businesses do you work with? Where are you guys located? How long have you guys been in business? Those are general questions that I asked for business to business sales. And then it ended up, I asked her, I said, hey, I'd love to meet you. And I didn't know you were coming here tonight, but I said, hey, let's set something up. Let's chat. Let's just have a conversation and see if there's something that we could do at the chamber. And those, you can shorten those things in 130 characters or just 2 messages even. Sure enough, we're gonna meet on Monday and have a webinar. So that's how I was able to start the conversation there. That was obviously the asking questions. I was asking her questions as the first part. And then I was also asking her for the